My name is Daniela, and I am 28 years old. For as long as I can remember, my sister Sophia and I have been inseparable. She is 3 years older than me, and growing up she was my protector, my confidant, and my best friend. When Sophia got engaged to Marcus after 3 years of dating, I could not have been more thrilled. I had already picked out my maid of honor dress and was planning the most beautiful bridal shower. But one phone call changed everything, turning what should have been the happiest time into an absolute nightmare. Before I share this story that completely shattered my world, let me know where you are watching from, and please hit that like button if you have ever experienced family drama that left you questioning everything. Because what I am about to tell you will make you think twice about trust within families and how far jealousy can really go. I was standing in the bridal boutique adjusting my maid of honor dress in front of the mirror when my phone rang. The soft pink satin looked perfect against my skin, and I remember thinking how proud I was to stand beside my sister on her special day. The wedding was just 2 weeks away, and everything seemed to be falling into place beautifully. Daniela. Sophia's voice came through the phone, but something was different. Her tone was cold, distant, nothing like the excited bride-to-be I had been talking to for months. Hey sis, I am at the dress shop right now, and you are going to love how everything looks, I said, still admiring my reflection. There was a pause that lasted too long. I do not want you at my wedding. I laughed, thinking she was joking. Very funny, Sophia. Should I get the shoes in nude or silver? I am not joking, Daniela. I do not want you there. The smile faded from my face as I realized she was serious. The other customers in the boutique suddenly felt too close, and I lowered my voice. What are you talking about? I am your maid of honor. Not anymore. Marcus talks about you too much. He always asks if you are coming to things, what you are wearing, how you are doing. He has feelings for you, and I cannot have you at my wedding knowing that. My legs felt weak. I sat down on the small velvet chair in the fitting room, still wearing the dress that now felt like a costume for a play I was no longer in. Sophia, that is crazy. Marcus sees me as a sister. He has never been anything but respectful and kind. You do not understand men like I do, she snapped. He lights up when he talks about you. He asked me 3 times this week if you had confirmed your +1. 3 times, Daniela. I tried to process what I was hearing. Marcus asking about me seemed normal since I was part of the wedding party. He is probably just trying to be a good brother-in-law. He cares about family. No, this is different. I have been watching, and I see how he looks at you. I see how comfortable you two are together. I will not start my marriage competing with my own sister. Sophia, listen to yourself. You are imagining things that are not there. I would never ever do anything to hurt you or your relationship. Maybe you do not realize you are doing it, but you are. The way you laugh at his jokes, the way you text him back immediately, the way you remember little things he mentions. It is too much. I felt like I was in some alternate reality. Those are normal things that people do when they care about family. You are my sister, and he is going to be my brother-in-law. I have made up my mind. Either you do not come to the wedding, or there will not be a wedding at all. I cannot walk down that aisle wondering if my groom is thinking about someone else. Sophia, please let us talk about this in person. This is all a misunderstanding. There is nothing to misunderstand. I need to protect my relationship, and that means keeping you away. I hope you can respect that. The line went dead. I sat there in the beautiful dress, staring at my reflection in the mirror, but instead of a happy maid of honor, I saw someone who had just been cut out of the most important day in her sister's life. The saleswoman knocked on the door, asking if everything was all right, and I realized I had been sitting there for 10 minutes in complete shock. I called my mother immediately, hoping she could help me make sense of what had just happened. Mom, did you know about Sophia's decision? Daniela, honey, I think Sophia is just being careful. You know how she gets when she is stressed. So you knew and did not tell me. I thought maybe she would change her mind, but honestly, sweetheart, maybe it is for the best. Men can be easily tempted, and if Marcus has been paying you special attention. I could not believe what I was hearing. Mom, you think I would try to steal my sister's fiancé? Of course not intentionally, but sometimes these things happen without anyone meaning for them to. You are young and pretty, and maybe you do not realize the effect you have. I hung up feeling more confused and hurt than before. Even my own mother seemed to think I was some kind of threat to my sister's happiness. I called my father next, but he just sighed heavily and said, "Your sister knows what she wants, Daniela. Maybe just give her some space." Everyone in my family was taking Sophia's side without even questioning whether her accusations made any sense. I sat in my car outside the bridal shop still wearing the maid of honor dress and cried until my eyes were swollen. The dress that had felt so perfect an hour earlier now felt like evidence of a crime I did not commit. The next day, Marcus called me. His voice sounded tired and defeated, nothing like the cheerful man I had come to know over the past 3 years. "Daniela, I need to talk to you about what happened with Sophia." "Marcus, I am so sorry. I do not know why she thinks there is something between us, but I want you to know that I have never had any feelings other than family love for you." I know that, and I have told her that repeatedly, but she would not listen to me. We had the worst fight of our entire relationship last night. He paused, and I could hear him take a shaky breath. "There is something else you need to know. Sophia hired a private investigator to follow us." "She did what?" "A private investigator. She has been having us watched for the past month. She has photos of us having coffee that one time when we ran into each other at Starbucks. She has pictures of us talking at her birthday party. She even has a report about how long we hugged when I dropped off her birthday gift at your apartment." I felt sick to my stomach. She had us followed like we were criminals. "The investigator told her that I smile more when I talk to you than I do with other people. He said I lean in when you speak, and that I remember details about your life. Apparently these are signs that I have romantic feelings for you. But those things just mean you are a good person who cares about family. You remember details about everyone's life. You lean in when anyone talks because you are a good listener." I tried to explain that to her, but she said I was lying to myself. She said men do not pay attention to women they are not attracted to. She asked me to cut off all contact with you after the wedding, and when I refused, she said it proved her point. This revelation hit me like a physical blow. My sister had not only accused me of inappropriate behavior, but had gone to the lengths of hiring someone to spy on us. "Marcus, this is insane. We have maybe spent a total of 5 hours alone together in 3 years. I know, but in her mind, those 5 hours were evidence of an emotional affair. She said the fact that we could talk easily and laugh together meant I was getting something from you that I was not getting from her. But that is what family does. We talk and laugh and care about each other." I tried to tell her that. I explained that you feel like the little sister I never had, but she said that was just me covering up my real feelings. She even brought up the time I gave you a ride home when your car broke down. She said a man in love would have called her first to make sure it was okay. I remembered that day. I had called Sophia first, but she was at work and could not leave. Marcus happened to be nearby and offered to help. It was a 20-minute car ride where we talked about his job and my upcoming vacation. Nothing inappropriate had happened, but apparently even that innocent interaction had been twisted into evidence of some secret romance. "She asked me to choose," Marcus continued. "She said if I really loved her, I would agree to cut you out of our lives completely. Not just avoiding you, but actively making sure we were never in the same place at the same time again." "What did you say?" "I told her that was not love, that was control." I said I would not start my marriage by cutting off my relationship with my future sister-in-law based on paranoid fantasies. That is when she really lost it. He told me about the fight that followed. Sophia had accused him of choosing me over her. She said that if he truly loved her, my feelings would not matter more than hers. She brought up every time I had texted him, every conversation we had shared, every moment of friendliness between us, and turned it all into evidence of his betrayal. The worst part, Marcus said, is that I started questioning myself. I wondered if maybe I had been too friendly, if maybe I had crossed some line without realizing it. But then I thought about my relationship with her other friends, with her cousins, with my own sister. And I realized I treat you exactly the same way I treat all the family members I care about. Marcus, you have never done anything wrong. This is about Sophia's insecurity, not about anything real between us. I know that now, but the damage is done. She does not trust me, and she does not trust you. How can I marry someone who thinks I am capable of falling for her sister and lying about it for months? I tried to reassure him that this was just pre-wedding stress, that Sophia would realize how ridiculous her accusations were once she calmed down. But even as I said it, I was remembering other times when my sister had shown signs of this kind of jealousy. When I was in high school, Sophia had discouraged my boyfriend from coming to family dinners, claiming he was too comfortable around her. In college, she had gotten upset when our male cousins spent more time talking to me than to her at family gatherings. I had always brushed these incidents off as Sophia being protective or having bad days, but now I was seeing a pattern. There is one more thing, Marcus said quietly. She wants me to ask you to write her a letter apologizing for your inappropriate behavior and promising to stay away from me permanently. She wants me to apologize for behavior that never happened. She said it would show that you understand how your actions affected her, and that you are committed to respecting her marriage. I was quiet for a long time, trying to process everything. Finally, I said, Marcus, I will write the letter. I do not want to be the reason your wedding does not happen. If staying away from you is what it takes for Sophia to be happy, then that is what I will do. Daniela, you should not have to do that. You should not have to admit to something you did not do just to appease her paranoia. But I love my sister, and I want her to be happy. Maybe in time she will realize how wrong she was, and we can fix our relationship. That night, I wrote a 3-page letter to Sophia. I told her that I was sorry she had felt threatened by my relationship with Marcus. I promised that I would maintain appropriate distance, and that I would never do anything to hurt her marriage. I said that her happiness was more important to me than being at her wedding, and that I hoped she would have the most beautiful day. I poured my heart out in that letter, trying to convey how much I loved her, and how sorry I was that she was in pain, even though I still believed her fears were unfounded. I hand-delivered it to her apartment the next day. Her response came via text. Thank you for finally understanding. I hope you mean what you wrote. That cold, formal response to my heartfelt letter was like a knife to my chest. This was not the sister who used to braid my hair and tell me bedtime stories. This was not the woman who had held my hand during our grandmother's funeral or celebrated with me when I got my first job. I did not recognize this person who could dismiss my pain so casually. The night before the wedding, my phone rang at 11 p.m. It was Marcus, and I could immediately tell he had been drinking. Daniela, he said, his voice thick with emotion. I cannot do it. I cannot marry her. Marcus, what happened? What are you talking about? I went to see her tonight to talk about everything one more time. I wanted to clear the air before tomorrow, but instead of talking, she handed me a contract. A contract. A marriage contract that she had drawn up. It listed all the people I was not allowed to spend time with alone, including you. It had rules about who I could talk to, how often I could see my own family, even what I was allowed to say about our relationship to other people. I sat up in bed, fully awake now. She made you a contract. She said these were her conditions for feeling secure in our marriage. No contact with you, ever limited contact with my female friends, and I had to promise to tell her immediately if any woman ever expressed interest in me or made me feel good about myself. That sounds like a list for a prisoner, not a husband. That is exactly what I thought. When I told her I could not agree to those terms, she said I was proving that I did not love her enough to make her feel safe. She said if I really wanted to marry her, these requests would seem reasonable. What did you say? I told her that love should not require a contract. I said that if she could not trust me enough to be around my future sister-in-law, then she could not trust me enough to be my wife. That is when she said the words I will never forget. He paused, and I could hear him crying. She looked me right in the eye and said, "If you love my sister more than you love me, then do not bother showing up tomorrow." Marcus, she did not mean that. But that is the thing, Daniela. She did mean it. She really believes that caring about you means I cannot love her. She thinks that wanting to maintain a family relationship with you is proof that I am choosing you over her. So what are you going to do? I already did it. I left. I took my stuff, and I left. I cannot marry someone who thinks love means cutting yourself off from everyone else who matters to you. I cannot start a marriage based on fear and control and jealousy. Marcus, maybe if you sleep on it. No, I have been thinking about this for weeks. This is not about you, Daniela. This is about the kind of marriage she wants to have. She wants a husband who puts her insecurities above his own judgment. She wants someone who will agree that her feelings matter more than reality. But you love her. I do love her, but I do not love who she becomes when she is scared. And I cannot live with someone who will always be looking for evidence that I am betraying her, someone who will always be testing my loyalty by asking me to prove it through cutting other people out of my life. When I hung up the phone, I sat in my dark bedroom trying to understand what had just happened. My sister's wedding was supposed to happen in less than 12 hours, and the groom had just walked away. Part of me felt guilty, as if I really was the cause of all this pain, even though I knew logically that I had not done anything wrong. The next morning, my phone started ringing at 6 a.m. First, it was my mother. "Daniela, what did you do? Marcus is gone. The wedding is ruined." "Mom, I did not do anything. I have not even talked to Sophia in days." "Well, he must have been thinking about you. This is all your fault. Your sister is devastated." Before I could respond, she hung up. Then Sophia called, and her voice was unlike anything I had ever heard from her before. She was sobbing so hard I could barely understand her words. "He left me. He left me for you. Are you happy now?" "Sophia, he did not leave you for me. He left because you tried to control who he could be friends with. Do not lie to me. This is all because of you. He chose you. He chose his feelings for you over our entire relationship." "Sophia, listen to me. Marcus does not have romantic feelings for me. He left because you gave him an ultimatum that no reasonable person would accept. You are the reason my marriage is over before it even started. You are the reason I am sitting here in my wedding dress with nowhere to go. I hope you are satisfied." She hung up, and I sat there feeling like the whole world had gone insane. How had I become the villain in a story where I had done nothing but love and support my sister? My mother called back an hour later. "The guests are starting to arrive, and we do not know what to tell them. This is humiliating for the whole family." "Mom, tell them the truth. Tell them that Sophia and Marcus decided they were not right for each other." "The truth? The truth is that you somehow convinced that man to throw away 3 years with your sister. I do not know how you did it, but this is on you." I felt like I was losing my mind. Everyone was so committed to blaming me for this situation that no one was willing to look at what had actually happened. No one was asking why Marcus would walk away from a woman he loved unless something was seriously wrong. No one was questioning whether Sophia's demands had been reasonable. I spent the morning in my apartment feeling completely alone. Every time I replayed the events of the past few weeks, I came to the same conclusion: I had not done anything wrong, but somehow I was being punished, as if I had destroyed my sister's life intentionally. By afternoon, I realized I could not just sit there and let everyone believe I was some kind of homewrecker. I had spent my whole life being the understanding one, the one who kept the peace, the one who made sacrifices so other people could be happy. But this time, keeping quiet was not going to fix anything. I got dressed and drove to the wedding venue. I knew it was probably a terrible idea, but I could not let this day end without at least trying to tell my side of the story. When I arrived, I found chaos. Sophia was still in her wedding dress, sitting in what should have been the bridal suite, surrounded by confused family members who were trying to figure out how to cancel everything. The flowers were still in place, the catering was set up, and guests were milling around in the lobby, unsure of what was happening. It was surreal seeing all the beautiful preparations for a celebration that would never happen. I walked into the bridal suite and the room went silent. Sophia looked up at me with red, swollen eyes, still wearing her wedding gown, and for a moment I saw my little sister again. I saw the girl who used to climb into my bed during thunderstorms, who would cry when other kids were mean to her, who trusted me to fix everything that was wrong in her world. "Why are you here?" she whispered. "Because I need you all to know the truth before this goes any further." "The truth," my mother snapped. "The truth is that you have been trying to steal your sister's man for months." "No, Mom. The truth is that Sophia hired a private investigator to follow Marcus and me because she convinced herself that normal family interactions were evidence of an affair." The room erupted. My aunts and cousins started talking all at once, some defending Sophia, others asking questions about the private investigator. "The truth," I continued, raising my voice, "is that Marcus left because Sophia gave him a contract listing all the people he was not allowed to see, and all the ways he needed to prove his love by cutting off his relationships with anyone she felt threatened by." "That is not true," Sophia screamed. "He left because he has feelings for you." "No, Sophia. He left because you could not trust him. He left because you asked him to choose between loving you and caring about his family. He left because you made him feel like a criminal for being kind to me." I pulled out my phone and showed them the messages Marcus had sent me explaining his decision. I showed them the photos the private investigator had taken of us having coffee, photos that looked completely innocent to everyone except Sophia. "This," I said, holding up a photo of Marcus and me laughing outside Starbucks. "This is what she considered evidence of an affair. Two people who care about each other as family having a normal conversation." My cousin Jennifer spoke up. "Daniela, is it true that Sophia asked you not to come to the wedding?" "Yes. She banned me because she was convinced Marcus had feelings for me. I agreed to stay away because I wanted her to be happy, even though it broke my heart." "And you really have never had any romantic feelings for Marcus?" my aunt asked. "Never. Not once. He feels like the brother I never had, and I thought he felt the same way about me. Apparently, caring about family members is now considered inappropriate." "But Sophia would not just imagine this," my mother insisted. "There must have been something that made her suspicious." Yes, there was something. Her own insecurity. Her own inability to believe that she could be loved without having to eliminate all competition, even competition that did not exist. I turned to Sophia, who was still sitting there in her wedding dress, looking smaller and more fragile than I had ever seen her. "Sophia, I have loved you my whole life. I have supported every decision you made, celebrated every achievement, and comforted you through every heartbreak. I gave up a scholarship to state so I could stay local and help take care of you when you were sick junior year. I have never once competed with you or tried to take anything that was yours." "But you took him," she whispered. "No, I did not. You pushed him away. You took a man who loved you enough to marry you, and made him feel like a liar and a cheater for treating your sister with basic human kindness. You took someone who wanted to be part of our family and made him choose between us and you." The room was quiet now. Even my mother seemed to be really listening for the first time. "I did not steal your fiancé, Sophia. I could not steal someone who was never interested in me to begin with. But you gave away someone who genuinely loved you because you were more invested in your fear than you were in your relationship." Just then, Marcus appeared in the doorway. He was still wearing his suit, but his tie was loose and his hair was messy. He looked like he had not slept. "I heard voices," he said quietly. "I came back to get some things I left here yesterday." "Marcus." Sophia stood up, hope flooding her face. "You came back." "I came back for my jacket, but I heard what Daniela was saying and I want everyone to know that she is telling the truth." He looked around the room at all the family members who had been blaming me. "Daniela never did anything wrong, not once. She never flirted with me, never encouraged me, never gave me any reason to think she saw me as anything other than family." "Then why did you leave me?" Sophia asked, and her voice broke. "Because you did not trust me. Because you created a problem that did not exist, and then demanded that I solve it by cutting people out of my life. Because you would rather believe I was a liar than accept that your sister and I could just be friends. I was protecting our relationship. No, you were destroying it. You were so afraid of losing me that you made it impossible for me to stay." Marcus looked at me then, and his expression was sad but grateful. "Daniela, I am sorry you got caught in the middle of this. You deserved better from all of us." Some of my relatives were starting to look uncomfortable, realizing they had been part of blaming an innocent person. My cousin Jennifer came over and hugged me. "I am sorry, Daniela. We should have listened to your side of the story." But my mother was still defensive. Sophia was just trying to protect her relationship. Any woman would be concerned. "Any woman would talk to her partner about her concerns," I replied. "A healthy woman would ask questions and listen to the answers. She would not hire a private investigator and create contracts to control her fiancé's behavior." Sophia was crying again, but this time it seemed different. Some of the anger had drained out of her, leaving behind something that looked like recognition. "I was so scared," she whispered. "You are so much younger and prettier and funnier than I am. I was scared that if Marcus got to know you better, he would realize he had chosen the wrong sister." "But that is not how love works, Sophia. Marcus did not love you because you were the best available option. He loved you because of who you are. He wanted to marry you because he chose you specifically." "I ruined everything," she said, and for the first time in weeks, she sounded like my sister again. "You made mistakes." I agreed. "But you ruined everything because you decided I was your enemy instead of your ally." Marcus shook his head sadly. "I need to go. This is not something that can be fixed with an apology. This is about trust, and once that is broken..." He left without another word, and I knew Sophia was watching her future walk away forever. The rest of the family gradually dispersed, some of them apologizing to me, others just leaving quietly. Eventually, it was just Sophia and me in the room full of wedding decorations that would never be used. "I am sorry," she said finally. "I know you are. But sorry does not undo the damage. Sorry does not give you back your relationship, and it does not give me back the sister I thought I had." "What do you mean?" "I mean that the sister I thought I had would never have believed I could betray her. The sister I thought I had would have talked to me before she hired someone to spy on me. The sister I thought I had would have trusted me enough to ask me directly if something was wrong instead of assuming the worst and punishing me for it. 6 months later, I was doing well. I had started therapy to work through the pain of being scapegoated by my own family, and I was learning to set boundaries with people who wanted to blame me for their problems. Sophia and I had texted a few times, awkward conversations where she apologized, and I tried to forgive, but our relationship was fundamentally changed. Marcus had moved to a different city and was dating someone new according to mutual friends. Sophia was still single, and according to my mother, struggling with depression and regret. I learned something important during those dark weeks when my whole family turned against me. I learned that sometimes the people who claim to love you the most are the quickest to believe the worst about you. I learned that keeping the peace is not worth sacrificing your own truth. And I learned that some relationships, even family relationships, are not worth fighting for if the other person is determined to see you as the enemy. But most importantly, I learned that I am worth standing up for. For my whole life, I had made myself smaller, so other people could feel bigger. I had apologized for things I had not done, and accepted blame for problems I had not created, all in the name of keeping my family happy. The truth is, I would probably do it all the same way if I had to do it again. I would still defend myself, still tell the truth, still refuse to accept responsibility for someone else's insecurity and fear. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do for someone is refuse to enable their destructive behavior, even if it costs you the relationship. There are some battles worth fighting, but before you can fight for anyone else, you have to be willing to fight for yourself. What would you have done in my situation? Have you ever been blamed for someone else's relationship problems? Let me know in the comments below, and do not forget to hit that like button if this story resonated with you. Subscribe for more real-life stories about family drama and personal growth, and share this video with anyone who has ever been the scapegoat in their family. Thank you for listening to my story, and remember that your truth is worth defending even when it is hard. I hope you never have to choose between your integrity and your relationships, but if you do, I hope you choose yourself.